And I guess it's easier for me as a leader who leads from a place of heart. It's really understanding that the continuous improvement is not just to the products and services, but it's to the people, helping them to realize that they can learn and grow as part of the overall transformation. I've been very privileged in my career to have leaders who have thrown me at the time I thought it was throwing me under the bus, but they have thrown me into the next level of my progression. Literally, if you are someone that is desirous of learning and growing, that's the best thing that anyone can do for you. You either sink or you swim, and and I'm pretty sure that that's where that phrase was coined from, because there's so much potential when you are left to you, given the support. You know you have the backing, but you're being told, here, go do this, go develop this, go build this, go research this. And I think that because that's paramount to how I lead every single day, I have had the fortune of seeing so many people emerge and develop and flourish. And for me, that's what my leadership journey is about. If I'm not seeing other leaders coming behind me, then I'm not being effective.
Wow, powerful. I'm just so happy that I chose this topic for you specifically. You had to be the one to speak on this one because this whole leader with purpose is such a buzzword, and a lot of persons don't necessarily understand how to execute that within an organization. Sometimes when we speak about purpose, we just think it's a matter of communicating a slogan to the employees, communicating the KPIs for this year, and that is it. But what I'm hearing coming out from your response a few moments ago is that it's more than that. Is you're aligning people to the objectives as well. You don't only want to see growth in the business, but you also want to see growth in your employees and your team, in your leaders within the business, and that takes intention. That takes
Absolutely.
intention.
Anyone that knows me knows that I do have, I like buzzwords, but I'm also someone that lives what I talk, right? So I'm very, very intentional in all that I do. Every single thing that I do is birthed by this need to be moving with purpose. And that drives me then to be very authentic in how I show up. And I make no apologies for how I show up, because I lead from a place of heart. I've been told over the years, you're too soft, when it comes to your people, and I don't mind that, because at the end of the day, these are the people that I am asking to move the earth so that a company can have success. So for me, it's a give and take when it comes to how I lead my team. And I'm very intentional about it, because their growth is not just important to the company. Their growth must be important to themselves. And that's something I try to get home. Never from the time I could afford to manage my own progression, I never want to sit and wait on a company to fund anything for me. So even though there are times where we may do paid training for the team members, it is important that I help them to understand that your journey, your career belongs to you, right? Whatever you learn and acquire in the space of the time you're with the company, you get to take that. And that's where your transferable skills help you to land the next thing for you, because it's important that people realize that I guess life in general is a journey. So you don't ever just stop at one thing, and everything you learn, every experience, every challenge, every setback, every trial you face is all packaged together that helps to mold you into the next level of the journey that you're about to embark on. So I guess overall, because I'm so driven by purpose, it comes out very strongly when I'm interacting with the team. And there are times where it has its plus sides, and it does have, when you lead from a place of heart, it can also have challenges. So I'm not going to sit here and say to you that it is all kind of one straight line and smooth sailing.
Yeah, yeah. Clearly the conversation is progressing in that direction. I was having a conversation recently with another leader, and actually it was a coaching session, and the person was expressing, some deep hurt that they experienced within the organization from their team. And the person reminds me of you, actually, very much purpose driven, very much, intentional about a lot of the things that they do. And it left me in reflection on whether persons understand that leaders too are human and that leaders too hurt. But then it took it a little further into understanding, as a leader, how are you so resilient after you've been hurt to still go back to that team member, and recalibrate and continue on that purpose journey. So when we speak about purpose, it's not only speaking about it in a positive light, thinking that everything that you share with your team, they're going to align or get behind, but it's also recognizing that you have to navigate the challenges, navigate the resistance, navigate the distrust, navigate the hurt as a leader, and still stay true. Stay true to that purpose.
Telling you, listen, I also say that, and because I've lived it and live it daily, leadership is not for the faint of heart, my dear. It is
At
not.
all.
Because
At
all of what
all.
you just described is a reality, right? Where you can set clear visions. Let's talk about culture, because you're trying to build a culture. You're trying to make sure that there's a high degree of engagement, because it's necessary for the big audacious goals that have been set, right? And you're trying
Mhm.
to build a culture where there's high engagement, high communication, continuous improvement. You bring all your all the your value system that match to ensure that it matches your core values. And then you are moving along thinking everybody's on the same page. And then boom, something kind of takes you off guard that totally disappoints you as a leader. And there are times where you absolutely have to recalibrate. That recalibration is so critical, because one of the things I always say is like, yes, I lead from a place of heart, but I don't get to sit in my feelings forever. And I think because I have, you never know what God is doing in terms of your journey, right? I've never realized that my upbringing would have really helped to mold how resilient I am, and how quickly I can bounce back, and how quickly I can kind of conceptualize the next approach just from being in situations of hardship, right? So I can sit and
Mhm.
even in terms of how I guide the team as we're navigating challenging times, they laugh because they think of all these things and they come and present it to me, and then they're like, oh, they actually thought of that. But not realizing that because I've had to be so creative. One of the things that hardship teaches you is creativity. It breeds a
Mhm.
sense of what's the word? It ensures that you are constantly solutions driven. Because of that, then you are in a position to really add value to the discussions that are happening. But just kind of getting back to the point, you're literally thinking that everybody's moving along on the same page as you, and then something happens that makes you realize that there's a disconnect, right? And sometimes because
Mhm.
it may be someone you've invested so much in, that you actually feel hurt. And we as leaders, we do experience hurt, right? And not only hurt, but we do have personal challenges that we're facing day to day, but we have to get up and show up.
Mhm.
We get, in my book, I talk about getting up, getting dressed, and showing up, because that is the power of
Yes.
who you are as a leader. And I think it is so important that as leaders, we give ourselves some grace too, because those moments will happen. And then you have to ask yourself and reflect on whether this is, where did I go wrong, if I did go wrong, or is it just that that person in that moment is in a bad place, and this is sometimes where you
Mhm.
get the opportunity to coach on the job. This is the opportunity
Yes.
where you get to be frank and candid and caring all at the same time. and you experience all of these things on any given day. And one of the things I tell my team all the time when I'm giving performance appraisals is that I am always going to tell you the things that will make you better. It does not mean that you're going to like to hear it, but I'm always going to tell you. That is the commitment I will give you. Because if I sit here and tell you that you've been A plus at everything, then where are you looking for the opportunities for growth?
Exactly, exactly. And well, we can go on. How much time do we have today, Alison? We can go on this topic forever, right? And what I'm getting from you as well, that is very important as a leader when you are navigating these challenges, these resistance, this hurt, because as we said, not everything is always on the positive end, is that you have to identify what are your values? What are your core values? You have to be guided by your core values. Because if you don't have some deeply rooted core values that can help you navigate the terrains of leadership, navigate the terrains of toxic cultures, navigate the terrains of trying to break those cultures and create something that's transformative, then that's going to be a challenge. So let me pause here and be a bit more mannerly and let the audience know what our topic is, because we really jump in, and I think they have a clue by now that we are talking about vision, we are talking about purpose, we are talking about values, and our topic for this particular episode is leading with purpose, aligning vision and values.